Hello students, in previous section we have already discussed about the meaning of the human capital. Likewise, what are the sources of the human capital formation? All of you know there are the four sources of the human capital formation. First one is the investment on the education. Likewise, the expenditure, health expenditure or expenditure on the job training and the expenditure on migration. And last one is the expenditure on the information. These are all the sources of the human capital formation, and in which we discussed only the first source, that is the investment on the education. Students, in this section we are going to take the more information about the remaining sources of the human capital formation, that is the health expenditure on job training, expenditure on migration and expenditure on information. Students, first of all we will be taking information about the health expenditure. Who can work better? A sick person or a person who with a sound health? A sick person or a sick labor, it is the compelled to abstain from the work, and there is a loss of productivity. Why there is a abstain from the work? Because he is sick, and that is why there is a loss of the productivity. So students, the health on expenditure, it is a very important source of the human capital formation, because it is an input for the development of the nation. See, expenditure on the health, it is an input for the development of the country, and the country maybe do the expenditure on the health, means there are the various forms of the health expenditure in country. Means here the country provide the preventive medicine, or secondly the curative medicine, third one is the social medicine. Means these are the various forms of the health expenditure. And why the country maybe do the expenditure on the health facilities? Because here the country wanted to build the stronger human capital for the development of the nation. Here the country may provide the social medicine. Social medicine means here it spread the health literacy among the people of the country. Likewise, here the government also provide the clean drinking water. Means here to provide the various health care facilities which increases the supply of the healthy labor force, and that purpose the government or maybe the country should provide the various healthcare facilities to the country people because it increases the supply of the healthy person, healthy labor force in a country. Then third source of the human capital formation, it is the expenditure on the job training. Students, the firm spend on the job training to their workers, and this may take the different forms. Means here the firms provide the job training, or the company should provide the job training to their workers in the different ways. There are the different ways to provide the job training to the workers. First one is training the workers. Means here the firm should provide the training to their workers. How? Under the supervision of the skilled person. Means under the supervision of the skilled person, the company should provide the training to their workers. Why? Because here the company wanted to maybe increase the productivity. And secondly, the workers, the company or the firm can send the workers for the off-training campus. Why? Because they can take the training under the skilled person, and they also get the knowledge how to use the new techniques also. And that purpose, the company can send their workers for the off-training campus. In both cases, means under the supervision of the skilled person, the company give the training to the workers, and the company can send their workers for training campus. In both cases, the firm incurred some expenses. But here, the firm insists to their workers should work for a specific period of time. See here, in both cases, the firm incurred the expenses. But here, the firm insists that their workers should work for a specific period of time. And the expenditure on the job training, which enhance the labor productivity more than the cost. So students, the firm provide the job training to their workers because the company or the firm wanted to increase the productivity of the laborers. Then next one is the expenditure on the migration. Students, all of you know the people, they migrate in one place to another place, or the people of the country, they migrate one country to the another country. Why the people migrate one place to another place? Because here the people migrate one place to another place because they wanted to search the job and to fetch the higher salary. Means here the people migrate one place to another place because they wanted to get, or they wanted to search the higher salaries job. Means here, and second reason is the migration of the people from one place to another place, or the unemployment, it is a reason for the urban and rural migration. Here in rural areas, there are so many peoples. They are the uneducated person, and in the rural areas they not get the job. Likewise, in rural areas also there are the educated person, and they are not get the good job in the rural areas, and that purpose they migrate the urban areas. And technically qualified person in the country. Technically qualified person is, for example, the doctors or the engineers. These people, they migrate the other countries. Why the technically qualified person means the doctors and the engineers? They migrate to the other countries because for the higher salaries. They wanted to get the higher salaries. And that purpose, the technically qualified person, they migrate to the other countries or the foreign countries. So the migration, or maybe the expenditure on the migration, which is helps to the underdeveloped country. Why it is there to the underdeveloped country? Because to acquire the skills or to acquire the knowledge, and also here it helps to effort the reducing the methods, and it is also helps to the underdeveloped country for the efficient way of the performing task. So the expenditure on migration, it is also the important source of the human capital formation. Then next one is the expenditure on the information. Students, here the people spend the money on the education. All of you know why the people spend the money on the education, because it increases the future income also, and it also creates the employment opportunities. Likewise, the people spend the money because they wanted to get the information. See students, thus people spend the money because they wanted to get the information. Which type of information they wanted to get? Relating to the labor as well as the other market. And that purpose, the people spend money to get the information because they wanted to know about the labor market as well as the other market. For example, the people wanted to know what is the level of the salary in our country also and in the other country also for the same job. And likewise, they also wanted to know which educational institution provides the right type of the employment skills and at what cost these institutions provide the right types of the employment skills and the knowledge. Means for this purpose, the people spend money to get the information. Students, the expenditure on the investment, it is necessary. Why it is necessary? Because the expenditure on information which helps in the decision making, means which is regarding to the investment in the human capital. See students, the expenditure on information, it is a necessary because it helps in the decision making and which is regarding the investment in the human capital. Likewise, it is also helps in the utilization of the human capital stock, and that purpose the expenditure on information, it is a very necessary. So students, these are all the sources, means investment on the education, secondly the health expenditure on job training, fourth one is the expenditure on the migration, and fifth one is the expenditure on the information. These are all the sources of the human capital formation. Students, in your examination, definitely they ask this question for the 6 mark. What are the sources of the human capital formation? And that time all of you write the answer like this, and all of you maybe mention all these 5 points for the sources of the human capital formation. Hope all of you understood this concept. Thank you.